Welcome. Today we're going to break down one of the most fundamental topics in all of physics, forces. Look, understanding these invisible pushes and pulls is absolutely essential for mastering mechanics, acing your exams, and really seeing the world like a physicist. So, let's get started. So, let me ask you a question. What could possibly connect these three things? A box sliding to a stop on the floor, our moon endlessly circling the Earth, and a magnet just sticking to your fridge? The answer, as you've probably guessed, is the invisible world of forces. And by the end of this, you'll see exactly how. Okay, first things first, let's get our core definition straight. A force is a push or a pull, simple enough. But the most crucial part, the part you cannot forget, is that it's a vector. What does that actually mean? It means it doesn't just have a magnitude, a strength measured in newtons. It also has a direction. And that direction is everything. Pushing down is completely different from pushing sideways, even if the strength is exactly the same. Now, there are a whole bunch of different types of forces, but they all fall into two main families. Think of it as the first big way we organize everything in mechanics. It makes things a lot easier to handle.
And here they are, contact forces and non-contact forces. The names kind of give the game away, right? Contact forces require objects to be physically touching, like your hand pushing a door. Non-contact forces, on the other hand, can feel a bit like magic. They act over a distance, like gravity pulling an apple from a tree without ever touching.
Let's zoom in on that first family, the contact forces. I think the best way to understand them isn't with a bunch of abstract definitions, but by seeing them all in action, all at once in a single, simple scenario. So just picture this in your head. You've got a heavy cardboard box, and you're trying to shove it across a rough concrete floor. You've probably done this a million times. This everyday action is just packed with physics, and we're going to build up the forces one by one. First up, the most obvious one, the applied force. This is simply the push that you are applying to the box. It's the force you're generating with your own muscles, trying to get this thing to budge. But as you push, you feel something pushing back, right? A resistance. Well, that resistance is the frictional force. The key thing to notice here is its direction. Friction always acts parallel to the surfaces that are touching, and it directly opposes the direction you're trying to move. It's basically the universe's brake pedal. Okay, let's pause for a second. We've got forces going sideways, but what about up and down? We all know gravity is pulling that heavy box downwards, so why doesn't it just fall straight through the concrete floor? What's stopping it? The answer is the normal force. The floor is actually pushing back up on the box, supporting its weight. Now, the word normal here is super important. In physics and math, normal just means perpendicular or at a 90-degree angle. So no matter how you tilt a surface, the normal force always points straight out from it. Always. Now, let's circle back to friction for a minute, because it's a bit sneaky. It actually comes in two flavors. First, there's static friction. This is that stubborn, stuck force you have to overcome just to get the box moving in the first place. It actually matches your push until it hits its limit. Once you push harder than that, the box starts to slide, and kinetic friction takes over. This is the sliding friction, and it's usually a pretty constant value as long as the object is moving. One last contact force for our little scenario. Imagine instead of pushing the box, you tied a rope around it and started pulling. Well, that pulling force that travels through the rope, that's what we call tension. It's always a pulling force, and it always acts right along the direction of the rope or the string itself. All right, we've covered contact forces. Now let's dive into that second family, the non-contact forces. We're leaving the world of physical touch behind and entering the realm of forces that act across what seems like empty space. For your curriculum, we're really going to focus on three main types: gravitational, electrostatic, and magnetic forces. Each one of these can pull or even push on an object without ever having to make physical contact with it. So the non-contact force that we deal with the most, especially in mechanics, is gravity. It's this universal attraction between any two things that have mass. And here on Earth, we have a special everyday name for the gravitational force pulling on an object. We just call it its weight. So remember, when a problem asks you for an object's weight, it's really asking for the force of gravity acting on it. Okay, we've got all these different forces flying around. Applied, friction, normal, gravity, tension. How on earth do we keep track of all of them when we're trying to solve a real problem? We need a tool, a way to visualize it. And that tool is the free body diagram.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this is the single most important skill for solving force problems. It's how we cut through all the noise and just focus on the forces. This is the key that unlocks Newton's laws. Because once you can see all the forces, you can figure out the net force, the grand total of all forces, and that's what tells you exactly how an object is going to move.
And drawing one is a really simple but powerful process. You just isolate your object, then you simplify it down to a single dot, which represents its center of mass. Next, you systematically identify and draw every single force acting on that object. Each force gets an arrow, starting from the dot and pointing in the correct direction. And finally, you label every arrow so you know what's what. And here's how it all comes together. This is the complete free body diagram for our box scenario. You see, all that complexity is gone and we have one clean picture. We see the downward pull of gravity, the upward support of the normal force, our forward applied force, and that pesky opposing force of friction. This simple diagram is how a physicist sees the world. So now you have the tools to see this invisible architecture that governs literally all motion. I'll leave you with one final thought to chew on. As you're sitting or standing there right now, what forces are acting on you? Can you draw your own free body diagram? Give it a shot.